the reason why the Celtics are celebrating today is why?
As opposed to when?
Well, I guess just why did they win it all? In your estimation?
It's always talent, right? And they have a collection of not only elite talent, but modern NBA talent, where they have versatility with, 4 guys that can guard 5 different positions. They have great length at all those positions. They've got solid depth. At least they had it when Porzingis was healthy and able to play. Look, they didn't rely on one guy to win this series. Jaylen Brown won Finals MVP, and I didn't have a vote. I would have voted for him. Mm-hmm. But this was about Jaylen Brown defending Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum playing a complete series when it comes to rebounding and defense and playmaking, Drew Holiday having some massive moments, Kristaps Porzingis, first 2 games, like he was a difference maker in those first 2 games, and Derek White making timely shots. They are a elite team in this modern era where they have all the pieces you need or you'd want to win a championship.
And Tatum's up next to get the Supermax?
He'll get his money. The 2 things the Celtics have to deal with this summer is the Jason Tatum extension, which is as simple as here's the most we can possibly offer you, and you put your signature there. It's probably going to be in the neighborhood of $315 million, which I think will, at the time, qualify for the richest contract in NBA history until, Luka's up a year from then. It all just keeps going like dominoes. So that's an easy one. The Derek White extension is coming up as well. He's got 1 year left on his contract. My understanding is the Celtics are going to extend him. One thing Wyc Grousbeck, the owner of the Celtics, has said to Brad Stevens and people in the organization is if you have guys that impact winning championships, don't worry about me paying them. I'm going to pay them. Derek White unquestionably had an impact on this team winning a championship. So I would expect Derek White, who's going to be 30 years old this summer, still very much in his prime, to get a multi-year extension this offseason.
And so when he says paying him, it's the luxury tax is what he's basically saying.
It is. And
right?
the Celtics are in the tax right now. I forget the number they had to pay. They're going to have to pay this year. But they're a tax-paying team. But this ownership group, I think, is willing to pay that tax for the right mix of players. And let's be clear, they're in the tax, but they're not Golden State in the tax. They're not some of these teams that, the Clippers in the tax. They're payers, but it's not to the level that some of these other teams that didn't achieve what the Celtics have achieved are in.
Another reason why Brad Stevens is who he is. And so the Mavericks aftermath is what? What's the takeaway here?
Look, I think when you have a team that was effectively put together 5 or 6 months ago, right? Because 2 key players, Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington, 40% of their starting lineup was not on the team before the trade deadline. You add them to the mix, and the fact that you get to the finals is a pretty impressive accomplishment. I think the Mavs now have a group that they can build on and organically grow from. Look, PJ Washington, Jaden Hardy, these guys are 25 years old and younger. They're going to get better just by natural progression. Derek Lively, I'm calling it right now. Derek Lively is the most improved player next year. I believe that. Derek Lively was phenomenal this year as a defender, as a rim protector, as a rebounder. He's 20 years old. I think he's going to go into this offseason and hone his offensive game. You saw at the end of, I think it was game 4, he made a 3-point shot. I don't think he didn't make a 3 all season long for the Mavericks. This is a guy that has shown in practice that he can be a good 3-point shooter. So if Derek Lively, who already has kind of these Tyson Chandler-esque qualities to him in terms of rebounding and defense, can add a 3-point shot to his game, all of a sudden you've got a very different Dallas Mavericks team.
Then what is the major, if you will, takeaway the league is going to have, the association is going to have from the Celtics winning it now that we're in the roster building portion of the calendar year? What do you think the takeaway is there?
I think you saw a move already yesterday when Oklahoma City acquired Alex Caruso. Now, Oklahoma City has looked at the blueprint that the Celtics laid out there for how they built their team in recent years and effectively mimicked it, right? They've got high-level talent, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at the top of it, but everyone on that roster does a little bit of everything. They rebound, they play make, they defend, they can score. They've got a bunch of 4-5 tool guys on that roster. Now you add Alex Caruso, And if the Celtics have a great bunch of wing defenders in Drew Holiday, Derek White, and Jaylen Brown, now you look at Oklahoma City with Shea, with Lou Dort, with Alex Caruso, a two-time all-defensive player. They've got a similar type of mix there. So I think that Oklahoma City, just with that one small move, has repositioned itself to be the number one seed next year, and I think be the favorite to come out of the Western Conference next season.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.